Welcome, Penguin fans. We're here on the Penguin Kickoff. Once again, I'm Lincoln Williams, joined by John Schiraldi, Mike Yostowski. What's up, fellas? How's it going?
I'm doing well. A shout out to the Penguin Rundown. If you're looking for a funny episode, go on YouTube, check out the Penguin Rundown. If you're a fan of Anchorman,
you're going to enjoy it. You're
Ron Burgundy,
it's
Champ
Halloween.
Kine,
It's Halloween time, man.
Yeah, it is Halloween.
And it's homecoming.
Yeah, it's the best thing you can ask for.
I think Champ Kine's going to win Queen. Just my thought.
I've heard Ron Burgundy's a shoo-in for King.
I heard
two
Trevor
good
Parks
choices
is in there too.
Yeah, well, they're two good choices. So,
well, let's talk about some matchup. Number 14 Penguins set to host the Indiana State. The Gwens coming off of a tough loss to South Dakota State last Saturday, but still in a three-way tie for second in the conference. Indiana State is coming off of a 22-14 win over Southern Illinois. Quarterback Isaac Harker threw 23 of 39 for 336. John, Mike, what are some keys to this game that you can see about going so the Penguins can get a W?
Well, Link, coming off of last week, if I had one word that I could stress to this team, it's perseverance. Understand that there's a natural ebb and flow to seasons, and it's almost like a book. There's going to be chapters that are really good and really bad, and it's inherently that in any job, you're going to have days at the office where things just don't go well, and that's what I'm chalking last week up to. I mean, two turnovers in the first 4 minutes that lead to 14 points. You're just never going to really be able to recover from a start like that when you're playing a team of South Dakota State's caliber. But nonetheless, we still battled for four quarters. You still scrapped, clawed, and fought. So you take that for what it is. You learn from that game and you move forward and understand that in the perspective of things, you need to persevere through maybe weeks that you're not exactly proud of what you did and get to the next week.
Mike, your thoughts?
I think if I had to sum it up in one word, it would be score. And it's kind of simple and it's kind of harsh, but we got to put points on the board. Only 24 points in the last 2 weeks for YSU. This is a team that's coming in out with 25.8 points per game. We got to get on the scoreboard a little bit more. We can't just rely on our running backs to get it through. We got to get it through the air. We don't have one receiver on this team that is over 200 receiving yards on the season, so we want to get some points on the board, and I think that's going to be huge for YSU today, especially against a Sycamore offense that likes to get out, likes to sling it around. Their quarterback was the first quarterback in the Missouri Valley Football Conference to get over 2,000 passing yards just this season alone. So they're going to want to play in a track meet. If we want to keep up with them, YSU's got to put some points on the board this afternoon.
I definitely agree. YSU's got to put points on the board, and you got to get that offense going. So some things about the offense you can talk about.
Well, it's interesting. Ricky Davis, we know, is going to be out today. He's out with an injury. We do understand that all week long, Hunter Wells and Nathan Mays have been taking snaps. So you got to look at
an interesting dynamic into this game.
If you get Hunter Wells, you understand you have a very accomplished, polished passer who's accurate with delivering the ball, and that could work this year, maybe in a way that you didn't see last year because the offensive line is now solidified. That run game is even deeper than before with now a trio of really good running backs, and there's a ton of playmakers on this team. Darian Townsend, Alvin Bailey, along with those three running backs. I mean, maybe what this offense needs is just someone to get the ball out in space and let the playmakers do their work. And I believe Mike's going to talk now about Nathan Mays a little bit.
Well, I think first off, I think if Hunter Wells is in there today, you're going to probably see a little bit maybe a short of a playbook because we've said before, Hunter Wells has not played so far this season. He's not as mobile as Ricky Davis, Trent Hosick, or Nathan Mays. So we'll see how shrink the playbook is if it is. But you talk about Nathan Mays, I think he's a guy that's only a redshirt freshman. He's going to come in and he's got 78 yards on the season, no touchdowns. But he's a guy who's very poised. He's got a lot of confidence for a young player. So I think if he's going to they're going to throw him in there, you're going to see some big plays at him, whether it's running or passing. I think he does well at both of them. But it's nice to have Hunter Wells back as well because he's a guy, like we said last year, commanded the offense all season long and really had some up and downs, but he's a proven leader. He's a veteran guy in that locker room. So I think either way, I think you're in an okay position with this quarterback position. Obviously, you'd like to have Ricky Davis out there, who's your number one starter at the beginning of the year. But I think either way, you're going to have two quarterbacks in there today for YSU. But hey, it's all on the running backs again. Martin Ruiz, Tevin McCaster, Jody Webb. You're going to have to rely on them a little bit as well, but also the receiving corps. We got to have them step up. Only not one guy over 200 yards receiving this year, so that's got to change, and that's going to be Alvin Bailey, I think, this afternoon.
I was just going to say, what about these wide receivers, these running backs, especially these running backs when, your quarterback has to get the ball to these wide receivers?
And that's really the key, is them running the ball effectively to set up the passing game. And I do have to disagree with you. I think maybe you might see a different chunk of the playbook. Maybe we were a little more run-focused before.
Right, but you're not doing what you've seen
but
before.
It might open up more that vertical passing game because Hunter Wells is an accomplished passer. He can get the ball out in space. So maybe just see a change in the playbook.
A change in what you've seen for the first really 6 games so far of the season, because when you had Ricky or Nathan in there or Trent, you could do more of a zone read, things like that. So
When we come back, we're going to sit down with Coach Beaupolin to give you a more in-depth look. Stay tuned.
You learn a lot more in defeat than you do in victory. What did you learn about your team after Saturday's game?
Nothing I didn't already know. I mean, I knew that we weren't the finished product yet. It was obvious. There's some things that we need to continue to get better at, work at, and make progress. And we're going to do what we need to do to make that happen.
Turnovers were a huge key to Saturday's game. Turnovers ultimately led to 14 points. How do you shore up those things in practice and eliminate some of those turnovers and costly penalties?
Just keep emphasizing practice better, be more accountable, and just keep stressing it every day.
Injuries have been a concern. We know Ricky was banged up. We saw Nate at the tail end of the ball game. What's the health status of this team and some of the key guys like Ricky and Jody going into this weekend?
We're fine. We're healthy enough, and you know, the guys. You're going to have your bumps and bruises this time of year, but we're fairly healthy for this time, and you know, you're not going to use that as an excuse. Whoever goes in needs to be ready to play.
You got Indiana State coming into town this weekend. They enter the game at 4-4 with a big win over Southern Illinois. What jumps out to you about this ball club?
They're very capable. They're well coached. They have talent, and we've said, you know, I like our game plans. What I'm concerned about, not as much about what Indiana State does, but what YSU does and how we execute our plan.
They have some talented players. Robert Tonyan, the senior wide receiver. Does it change a lot when you know you're playing an impact player like that, your game plan, or does it come down more to what you guys do as a team?
No, I mean, you obviously have respect for the guy and you take him into account when you're making your plan. But we've played against good players all year. You know, guys see it, they respect it, and yeah, you have to be ready to offset what they do and make adjustments accordingly. But we'll be okay.
Coach, what's your motto? What are you stressing to the team this week to really get the ship righted and get back on the winning track here in Missouri Valley Conference play?
Get better, go earn it. But have more attention, more to detail. Don't stop shooting ourselves in the foot. We did that last week too many times, and we need to fix that.
When we come back to Penguin Kickoff, we're going to give you our final predictions and get ready for that game. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Penguin Kickoff. We're here to give our final predictions a few minutes away from kickoff, and it's Halloween. You know, it's a good vibe. It's homecoming.
It's an exciting time.
Yeah.
It feels like football season now.
It's a little brisk. It's a little brisk.
Brisk. Love their iced tea.
It's really good tea.
Speaking of brisk, if you go to the new Pete's Treats in
Yeah.
Kilcawley, buy 2 cases of brisk iced tea, get a free hoodie.
Boom.
How about that plug?
We'd be lost without you, Michael.
Thank you.
Veteran
for your
move.
brisk tea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Veteran move. That's
Love
exactly
brisk
what it
iced
was.
tea.
So anyway,
But
back
let's talk
to the
about
game.
football.
Yeah, sorry.
Football.
We're thirsty.
A matchup I'm really intrigued in is this Sycamore offense against the YSU defense. You look at last week, quarterback Isaac Harker, 22 of 39 for 336 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's his 4th game this year of throwing for over 300 yards. That's going to be a tough task for this YSU defense lining up against them because, frankly, Indiana State has had success in the past. The last 2 years, the final score has been 27-24, ending in game time or game-winning field goals. So this offense has moved the ball, and they haven't had a quarterback like Harker before.
That's very true.
On top of that, wide receiver Robert Tonyan, he is a matchup nightmare. 6'5". Last game, he went for 8 catches for 131 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm really interested to see what the YSU defense does because personally, I would like to throw Leroy Alexander on a one-on-one matchup with Tonyan. But it's going to be interesting to see if they play him straight up, if they move around Leroy to cover him or what they're going to do. But 2 storylines for this YSU defense, not Derek Rivers or Avery Moss. Number 1 is Armand Delavade. He leads the team in tackles, really having an outstanding season. And also Jamel Smith. This guy's 108 tackles in the last 17 games. I think the most exciting matchup of the day is going to be between that YSU defense and this explosive aerial attack of the Sycamore State offense.
I think you did a great job explaining their quarterback and their one receiver, but they got another receiver named Miles Thompson. This is his first true year playing for the Sycamores. He's had back-to-back 100-yard receiving games. This is a guy who already has 548 yards on the season, 6 touchdowns. We speak about their quarterback, Isaac Harker. Last season, he came in relief in the YSU game and actually let Indiana State down the field for their game-winning field goal. So this is a guy who has some comfort against YSU, as YSU has dropped both previous matches the past 2 years, 27-24 off of late field goals by the Sycamores. So this is a quarterback who's very familiar with YSU and has played confident against him. But you speak about the Sycamore defense. The YSU offense has to focus on Jameer Thurman, has 70 tackles on the year for the Sycamore defense. That's 25 more than anybody else on that Sycamore defensive unit. So this is a guy who likes to fly around, find the ball. The offensive line has to key on him. We heard head coach Bo Pelini said the Sycamore defense, they're going to press the box. They're going to make us throw it because they know how good our three running backs are and how good we are at running the football. They're going to challenge us, make us throw it deep, whether it's Hunter Wells or Nathan Mays. They're going to make us challenges, and I think that's if we can get some space and Alvin Bailey and Darian Townsend can find some open room in the Sycamore secondary, I think that's going to be huge for YSU, and it's going to help them get over the hump and get this W today.
Another guy to keep an eye out for in that Sycamore defense, Justin Hornsby, a JUCO transfer, had 4 tackles for loss last week. He's one of those guys they like to press up in the box with and try and cause some havoc back in the backfield. And that's someone, if you're the YSU offensive line, I'm sure he's been on the scouting report. That being said, I think you're going to see a game similar to what you have the last 2 years. I'm thinking mid-20s to maybe early 30s. But I do see YSU pulling this one out in a gutsy performance. I know Indiana State really turned a corner in their win last week over Southern Illinois because Coach said they had 2 games before they really let get out of their hands. So I know they're excited for this game. I know YSU's looking to rebound, but ultimately I think this Penguin defense leads YSU to another victory.
On the side of the offense, I think the Penguin offense, you're going to need your wide receivers to play aggressive, and then on the defense, you're going to need your DBs to play aggressive. Because as we said, this is a very big passing team, and they're very successful at passing, 336.
Those wide receivers and that DBs is really the matchup of the day.
And they make it easy for you.
I think that's going to be key for YSU is how they play offensively with the quarterback, because we said we're only 24 points in the last 2 games. YSU is a team, though, that likes to score in the fourth quarter. That's their highest scoring quarter, and it's not even close. So this is a team for YSU. They got to get out there, got to play familiar, get your back inside, your home stadium with your home fans, and you're playing against. And this is a homecoming crowd. It's going to be an exciting game, 4 o'clock kickoff game here in about 60 minutes or so. This is going to be a huge game for YSU, and I think it's, as you said, they're still in tie for second place in the conference. So this is a big game, but a game they got to win to help their chances get into that FCS playoff, because it's a tight field to get into that playoff race.
I definitely agree. Guys, thank you for tuning in for the Penguin Kickoff.
Oh, I'm taking YSU, by the way. YSU's winning.
YSU?
I pick YSU.
YSU. I'm always YSU. Come on now. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a great, awesome year. We got one more show. It's going to be awesome. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, go Gwins.